For example, CAPTCHA is one such classic example. Right? So they've got the world's best technology in terms of OCR information. And how did that come in? Because whenever you go and you're trying to log in or something, your training captures algorithm. So that's very clever way and capture this. 7-8 people were there in that entire company got sold for 300 million. WhatsApp is another example, right? So even today, for example, last year there was Chennai floods, right? And WhatsApp was the only messaging system which ever worked. You can work on very low, bit rates. And just 40 people were there in the company. It got acquired for 90. So the important thing is to ability for you to get that volume of data at a very cheap rate. So your business model should reflect it. It's not so much a technology problem, but as much as a business problem. So you have to focus on the business side. So next thing is vertical versus horizontal. Okay, so for example, if you are an image recognition company, you are out of business because you have all the algorithms and libraries which have been open source, and you have now a lot of competition in that space. But say that you want to be an image recognition company in say a fashion world, or in say there are a lot of this industrial IoT companies, right? So I want to only check if iron coming out of a furnace is hot enough, or is it meeting my quality specification? And you are developing your algorithm and you're putting it across say more than hundreds and hundreds of iron say steel plants across the world, and your algorithm is the best in terms of detecting only. So that's the level of data which Google never sees, right? So if you're focused on a certain aspect and that you're dominating across the entire world, it could be a very powerful business idea. But doing it horizontal in certain AI domains might not be very valuable, because a lot of big players like IBM, Apple, they all want to be horizontal. So for startup, it's better to focus on the vertical. Okay, then the target customers. This is another very important aspect. So if you are an AI company, you should choose your customers in a way that they are, they have an open mind and they are more than happy to try out AI products. Correct? So for example, if you have an AI product and there's a steel plant company, very difficult to sell. They are old generation, right? They have 40, 50 years. By the time you go and convince them and ask them to put, say, these special cameras with an, computer vision algorithms and all that, he's never going to buy a solution. But if you do it, say, for a Myntra or the Jabong, the new age companies, right, which are coming, they want, to try out new solutions, they will be more than willing to choose. So many times, right, your business idea will have to reflect the market reality. Okay, don't think that it's separate. So choose your business plan. So if you are making an algorithm, say in computer vision, like I mentioned, so choose your customer and your market space who are more than willing to adopt your technology. And for all startups, the best way to start is, or best way to find a few customers is to go to the enterprise. Right? It's very tough for you to go to the B2C route, because B2C customers like you and me will not choose a product because it's. We'll only choose it only because it makes the life easier, or we like the UI of it, a lot of branding associated with it. Right? So we hardly make decisions based on our general public, right? You guys might be the tech community or geek community which will prefer to use highly complex or technologically advanced products, but the general mass is never going to look at the technology, right? So they want things which are very simplified, very easy for them to understand. So B2C is definitely not the best way to try out your AI solutions. B2B is a better approach. So now have a B2B focus.
Self-esteem.
Yeah.
But in terms of, I understand some of the use cases of AI at B2B. But when we think of it in terms of data collection and all, so B2C are much better space if you want to collect data for, and if you want to scale it, right?
No, so what data collection strategy is different, business model is different, right? For example, take it out Dropbox. Okay. What they're doing, they have given it to free of cost to most of the B2C customers. And you're using Dropbox, they're also getting it, they're getting some brand and all that. But where are they getting money from? From the enterprise customer. Right? So if you're a B2C guy and you're using the product, you're not the customer product, you're the product. You're for case of Facebook, right? Facebook is giving free of cost. Facebook is a classic AI company, but it's making money by selling your data and getting advertising on this platform. So for a Facebook, you're the product, you're not the customer. So it's very important for you to understand the distinction.
So, you mentioned about the steel plant example, right? So in present time, that problem is more like a sales problem, right? How do you convince that those companies that it will benefit them in long term is using this modern AI techniques, right? So even though you feel that it will be difficult to sell to them, or because they also know that as there are a lot of advancement in the technology, right? So they will need such solutions to grow, right?
No, see, the problem is that for a person who doesn't need, whose value proposition doesn't depend upon his quality of product that he's giving. Okay. For example, steel plant, he doesn't have, by implementing a computer vision based solution, how much of difference can you make to his product?
For example, if there are manual checks, right?
You will only reduce his cost.
Yes.
You may not really improve his product quality, output quality. Okay, so it's a very tough sell to him. Okay, because he's anyway manual labor is cheap. Right? You have to look from a business model. So manual labor is cheap. He's putting 10 people over there, and 10 people are doing it. They're getting probably 1 or 2 defects. Now, if you put the computer vision algorithm, which you have say developed it after 2 or 3 years of R&D, and you have gone and you put the solution, and it works. Okay, but you are charging say 1 crore for that solution. But he's putting 10 people on that. He's charging, he's paying them only 10 lakhs.
But that is again a kind of pricing problem, right? So
No, what I'm trying to say is that particular market is a very tough thing for you to go and sell. Okay, you're not able to scale quickly. What you will be able to do is over a 1-year period, you will get only 4 or 5 customers. You may not get, say, you have to go, make if you want to scale very rapidly and you want to charge a lot from one customer, you have to have at least, 4 or 5, crores per customer if you are talking about the steel plant customer. And that I doubt, hardly. So you have to see from a angle of, how many such customers are there, what is the willingness to pay for. These kind of steel plant guys are not willing to pay for these kind of solutions. They might be, but at least from what I understand, they're not. So you have to go with them, you have to give them one POC, you have to give them for 3 to 6 months, they will try your software, then they will come back to you and say that, okay, this seems somewhat smooth. Then they will start negotiating. And by the time you get one customer, you'll be one. So you can't scale that. So look at customers who can, within 10, 15 days can make a decision and start doing it. Right, so then distribution strategy. So you need to have a very strong distribution strategy. So how are you going to distribute the software, right? You're going to sell it through APIs, you're going to sell it through the cloud, you're going to have an SDK and give it, or you're going to do an on-prem solution, like you're going to give an appliance. So all these things are very important, and different solutions, right? To see, the important thing for a scaling startup is to look at scaling. You have to scale rapidly. So the best way to do it is, ensuring that your customer doesn't need to make any change at this time, right? Or he doesn't have to buy, a very high-priced item to try it out in the store. For example, you give an appliance which costs say $20,000, then it's again going to be very tough to sell. But the easier thing is that, you give it like an API, you charge him $100 for 1,000 API calls or 1 million API calls, depending on what your product is. And so that fellow, he can easily try out the product and see, okay, it works or not, and then he can. So it's very important that you plan your distribution strategy. Okay, so team is very important. So the ideal team composition is to have one great marketing guy and one great tech guy. Right? A great marketing guy and how do I sell the particular product? So who my customers are, and so that's very important. So in the founding team, who's the best thing?
In the previous slide, obviously you'll not get a company which has ticked all the points. So in terms of how much do you give to each important?
The weightage, number one is team. Right, at seed stage, the weightage is number one is to the team. And in the team, at least one marketing guy should be. In any AI company. Okay, this discussion only for AI. So you might have a 4-5 member founding team. So our expectation is that out of the 4-5 members, one should be a marketing person who understand the customer. Because otherwise you will just keep developing solutions and you will think, and it's a common fallacy with all techies, right? You just think you don't like to sell, you don't like to meet people, convince them, and do the hard stuff. You just want to develop a code and you're more than happy with the people start using it. But in practical reality, it never happens. Right? You have to go and do the selling, you have to go and talk to marketing language.
How much that is true for a B2C company?
For a B2C, even B2C also you have to have marketing. For example, you take any B2C, or which you might say Flipkart. Without advertising and promotions and all that, do you think you will ever use Flipkart? They have no. Tech is very limited in that space. It's just a simple e-commerce site. But I'm just saying better than that. Or you take case of, say, even a Google also, right? So for Google, initially when you see how they scaled up, it was not that they just went launched their platform and people discovered it. Because how do you discover Google? Right? There was no Google at that time. So what they did was they implemented a lot of unscalable solutions. So they used to go to universities, they used to go to communities like this, they used to give demos like this. Say you take care of Apple or you take care of Facebook. Again, all through college dorms. Only through that it's scaled. So you have to get on target market, focus on the target market, and then you slowly expand. Yeah, so the team for AI companies, as I said before, you need to have PhD, MS candidates who are, who have a credible name in that particular sector. Right, and the other important thing is to, when you're building an AI company, is to build a strong culture of tech or AI in your company. Right? So if you're, and that's what we are also looking for, right? So people who have a strong culture, what do you mean by culture of tech, right? So you take care of Google. So they have a very strong culture of tech. In Google, they don't give much respect to marketing guys, they don't give much respect to sales guys. The engineers there are treated like gods. And so what enables them to do is just develop the world-class solutions. So they focus only on technology. So you go to Apple, they are focused on marketing. So their marketing and sales team, they really dominate. So they decide what are the product features they need to go, what is the. So and at the beginning, the AI startups has to be very tech focused. So our expectation is that you have, and most of the VC they expect to have very strong tech guys who can drive the entire technology culture. And that's the classic problem today with happening in startups also in India, right? So we are throwing people at the problem because people are cheap, right? So if you have any problem internally, you throw 10 people. Not trying to solve it using technology. Our expectation when you build a technology company, have just 4 or 5 people, but then they should be able to develop a strong technology solutions. So this I just touched upon. I said that if you're developing a AI solution, so first to test market your product, best is to go the B2B route, get your product validated, and then go to the B2B. Distribution strategy should be very strong. APIs and SDKs. Pricing again very important. So once your product is tested and all that, its value should be really high. Right? So ACV is nothing but average contract value. So contract value should be at least $50,000. Otherwise, there's no point for you to develop it and give a customer pays you this. Then if you're going to B2B, right? So sure, at least $50,000 or 10 to 20 lakhs of rupees. And focus on international. That's very, very important. So if you focus on India, India is a very good tool for testing a particular solution. But India is not going to pay. Here will be willing to pay are only in international market. And in the US, so you have one. The good thing about today is that you can sell digitally outside. Right? You don't have to have salespeople. You don't have to have, and some very successful startups like Freshness and all that need. They did have a team in India and they would sell digitally. Yeah, so your question, somebody asked me. So how to get discovered through this? Also use PR. PR is a very effective tool. Right? So choose the right PR. So this is a very important thing. So this is what most VCs use. Your data collection strategy should be very, very strong. Right? So these days there are enough number of people who are saying that we are doing algorithms. Developing an algorithm is no longer a big challenge. How you can develop defensibility around it is the key challenge. Collecting the huge amount of data at a very cheap rate is tough. So anyways, we spoke about all this, so I'm not worried. Yeah, so this how to approach angels. LinkedIn, angel networks. The other good thing is that because you're part of this tech ecosystem, right? So a lot of senior technology executives are doing angel business. So you work in say NVIDIA, I'm sure. I personally know quite a few VPs in NVIDIA who are funding stuff. So it's a part of Microsoft, Google. So a lot of senior executives funding stuff. So the best way for you is actually to approach them. Okay, so this is the last slide. Investments. Just want to give you an overview of this. So typically, so not valuation is stake. So if you are raising around $1 to $2 million, most people understand that you have to keep some amount of stake so that even the founders will be interested. Right? So typically, people take around 20% as the company. So they give $1 million, take 20%. Right? And then they help you. But of course, VCs don't build. You guys will have to build. But it just helps you to have a good VC backing because when you get a customer, the customer will be worried that okay, will you be available or how you say tomorrow. If we know that okay, at least a VC back, we know that okay, at least 3-4 years will be available. So usually VCs take a board seat, the liquidation preference. Liquidation preference means that if you sell the company say about $10 million, then first the money which the VC is invested, you get it. Then so anti-dilution rights means, I will not go too much here, but just anti-dilution means that supposing I value your company, say I invested $1 million and 20% stake, that means the company is valued at $5 million. Now tomorrow suppose your company is not doing so well and it gets a down round. Okay, so then I should be compensated for that down round. So extra shares will be issued to the VC. And then the key thing is promote. So usually at the angel stage, C stage, there will be a promoter block. So for next 5 years, the equity will be long. Yeah, we are funding you, and then you decide, okay, Facebook is offering you, $1 million salary, and you will run up to it. Then what will happen to the amount of equity? So that's why there's a lock-in shares. And of course, ESOPs. So usually all AI startups have got 20 to 30% of their cap table given as ESOPs to employees. So only then you can hire the best quality agents.
Question.
Yes.
How is valuation determined?
Valuation. At C stage, Series A, what stage?
See,
See, at seed stage, it is simple Goldilocks. Right? You have not understood Goldilocks. Right? So it's neither too high nor too low. That's all. It's just a negotiation between two parties. There's nothing that I can value you. Right? You have no revenue, you have nothing. So what like value? So the typical thumb rule, as I said, 1 million, 20% is what. If you are very good at negotiation, you can bring it down to 15%. Or if you are bad at negotiation, you will go to 30%. So that is a slide. If you are decent enough, 1 million, 20%.
like if you go to say, when you have some idea of the revenue and the size of the market that you are addressing, like at that point, is there a relation between the size of the market and valuation?
Yes. So suppose you have touched CVC. Okay. It depends on your business model. But say if your business model is number of API calls. Okay. So it's supposing you have a customer. Each customer paying you say $1,000, and you have so in the industry we have something called AI, annualized recurring revenue. Okay. If you get one-time revenue, we will discount. So we have only recurring revenues. Supposing a recurring revenue, monthly recurring revenue is that means you multiply by 12, you will get annual. That's around 1.2. So on that, say if you are growing at, it again depends on the growth, which is why I said month-on-month growth is extremely important. If you are growing 20% month-on-month, your revenues are growing month-on-month 20%, you will be valued around 20 times. 20. So your value should be 20. Okay, these are thumb rules. Okay. And supposing you are growing at say 50%, right? The multiples are automatically. So you'll be like, you'll be valued around, you can say 30, 40. You are doubling every month-on-month. That means you are like super company. For example, when Facebook they raised their first Series A, right? They were doubling month-on-month, and they were only a 10-member team, and they had no revenue, but they valued $100 million.
Doubling what?
100 million at Series A, right?
But you said that they had no revenues.
They had no revenue, but they were doubling their customers. Right? So every month. You can have proxy metrics. Okay, so for companies like Facebook, the number of people coming on the platform is automatic. And but you should any one metric should keep improving. So the growth is very important. Or you take care of Google. Right? So Google, their Series A, again $100 million valuation. At that time they had more than 10 million, 6 million people who keep 6 million people who are using it on a daily basis. The monthly daily active users were 6 million, and that was jumping 100% compound. So even if you don't get revenues, but your growth is like stupendous like this, your value should shoot. And till Series B, C, right, you should just focus on growth. Okay, because price discovery or revenue discovery can happen later. But the initial, if you don't even have growth, then what will you? Okay, so this was my last slide. Any questions?
My name is. Can you just follow the same pattern? Can you just repeat the question for people to hear online so that it gets recorded?
Sure.
Right. So.
My name is Jay. I run a startup where we're trying to use AI for agriculture. So one of the things you mentioned is the defensibility, right? So given that so much of the AI stuff right now is open source, competition naturally increased. So the only sort of moat is the data moat. So when you look at the team, you focus lots on the technical stuff. For the technical founders, is it more on creating your best algorithm, or are you looking at best execution, or the modes or just scale? You don't care about defensibility, how fast you can grow.
Okay, so the question is, what is important for a startup? Scale or technology or difference? So the most important, see, it differs from startup to fund to fund. Because like VCs, right? There are so many people, so many kind of VCs and their strategies. But the common thread among most VCs is you don't build a defensible solution. It might be a very small market, but if you build a strong defensibility, your business is still there because people will acquire, right? So to answer your question, defensibility is most.
Yeah, but I guess
If you're an agri,
no, not agri. Like relating to this audience, we're talking about AI, deep learning stuff. Since most of the packages out there are open source, so in the AI space, to me right now, seems only data collection.
yeah. That's why I said data collection is the most important. So what we are looking for is a team or business models that can capture data as quickly as possible, and how easy or how scalable your algorithms are in terms of that new data that comes. Right? So these are the things. Suppose you are in, say, take care of an agri because you are focusing on the old economy sector, right? Not the. So on agri side, what we are looking at is how you capture the data. Right? That is our very critical aspect for us. And how is your solution adapted to a particular challenge?
Yeah. One follow-up question is on the seed round. Is it usually a syndicate round, or are there pluses and minuses of getting multiple parties involved in either stage? Does it, like for Exfinity, does it help if you sell $1 million to a $2 million seed round? Is it better if I say, I already have a $500,000 investor, I need you to put up $1.5 million? Or the seed round doesn't matter, like people are willing to take that one check?
So again, the question is, whether syndicated rounds are better or one investor. So it again, as I said, it depends on VC to VC. If you have a large VC, like say Sequoia, which is having $1 billion fund for India, $1 million is nothing for them. They are okay in taking that. But you take a small fund like us, which is $50 to $70 million, then we might prefer to syndicate. Right? So it again depends on whom you're approaching. Right? But syndication is always better. Right? Because more number of people are validating you.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions?
For the seed round, if it's a product startup, what stage do you expect the product to be in?
Yeah, so the question is at what stage the product should be for raising a seed stage. Right? So our expectation is that you should have developed the product MVP at least. Okay. And you have, if you're developing a B2B product, then you have 2 to 3 customers with whom you're doing a POC. Right? They may not be paying, but then they are doing a POC and they're able to see some tangible benefits by using your software. That is what seed stage expectations. If you are doing Series A expectation, then the expectation for again a B2B company is that you have at least 20 to 30 customers who are paying you at least, as I said, $10,000 to $20,000 per month. But of course, there is always these are not hard numbers, but somewhere ballpark. But you're doing B2C, then the initial stage, what we at the seed stage, our expectation is that you have at least 1,000 customers or 1,000 people are using your product. Series A is over 1 lakh, 2 lakh. Might or might not be revenue generating person. But the month, no VC is going to meet you on day 1 and write a check on day 1. Okay, it's a relationship that gets built over 4-5 months. So over the 4-5 months, they will check your progress. Month on month, are you doubling? Month on month, what's your growth? If it is B2C, then you have to double. That is your user base has to double at the initial stage because the base is so small. But at B2B, then the expectation is that okay, so you grow at least 20-30%.
You talked about AI-based product, right? Investment. So, what is your take on investment for AI-based services for B2B services?
AI-based service is just another form of service, right? So, for example, 5 years back, there was data service. Okay, analytics as a service was there. And 5 years back before that, there was this SAP or ERP service. So, and today, AI is there. So, as the gentleman was saying, there's so many AI packages available. So, you can just take it, do it, customize it, and build a custom solution for it. But VCs will not invest in services. Okay. We invest only in products. Service business is very tough to scale. So the idea is that from a VC perspective, that you invest in, say, year 1, you have to exit by year 5, 6, right? So our expectation is that we get every 10 times the amount that we invest. Okay, so that kind of scale you will not get by doing services. Services business usually PE is only invest, but that is only when you have touched, say, $100 million of revenue. Right? VC do not. And you don't require money out of VC, right? Because services business is giving you immediate cash flows. See, you take money from a VC only when you know that you have to build a platform where which will become very valuable only when it's big. Say like a Facebook, right? Facebook not VC. Now, Facebook was only doing bootstrapping, it will never become VC. Okay, or Google, for example. It becomes valuable only at scale. Initially, it's not valuable. So for that, you require VC. If you are getting immediate cash flow, you don't require VC. In fact, you should not take VC. It will kill your business.
I have a question on the sort of angel round because, like you said, there's sort of been an explosion of people with cash on the side, and if you say AI and everything, something interesting, people are going to talk to you. So, do you have any friendly advice? Probably people will come to you at a Series A stage. Can you throw out some metrics in terms of do you like few angels in the previous round, or do you like 10 angels? Fewer better, or do you like chunky angels, or do you just like these sort of eye candy angels who make economic sense?
So we prefer your cap table to be very key. Because cap table is another very important thing, right? You might develop a great product, great company, but you might not make money. Okay, that's highly important. So that cap table, which is that shareholding table, is very important. So ideal scenario is to dilute as little as possible at the angel round and get as few angels as possible. Okay. So by that, what do I mean?
What's the rule of thumb in India right now for that?
No, so less than 5 angels, where you will dilute less than 15%. That would be the ideal. Yeah.
So if a product itself needs a lot of investment to make, so is it better to approach a VC at this stage, or is it better to VC for seed at this stage, or is it better to probably put a lot of your own money and make a product?
No, see, if you have money to invest and sustain, I think that's the best thing, right? But in the absence of it, because you might require 6 to 10 crores to develop a good product, right? And very few people have got that much capital. Like that. So in that case, approaching a VC is a better option. Good VC is better than getting money from an angel, right? Because the angel might write your check of nearly 1 crore, but then you'll again after 6 months you'll come back to the market trying to raise, right? And you'll then dilute your focus, right? Instead of building a product, you'll be only doing fundraising. Fundraising is very time consuming. Right? You have to meet at least 10, 15 investors. You have to keep convincing them, talking to them. It's very tough. So best is that one shot, you get at least $1 million, you can focus on building a great product, and then go to the market again, where you'll be valued on business metrics.
As you just said that you probably need an MVP at least before we go to any VC. And if that is itself is an expensive,
No, why should AI MVP take you so much?
Yeah, may not be AI. It can be AI plus hardware.
No, so my suggestion is at the beginning, don't do hardware at all. Right? Hardware should come at CVP level. Okay, so today there are a lot of computational platforms available where you can just ride on top of it. Right? So I don't know what your product is, but then if it is something that can run on a mobile phone, it can run on a a server, it can run on a small computer, whatever. Better to use those existing platforms and prove your solution, raise a large amount, then go for custom build the dedicated hardware appliances. Otherwise, you'll lose a lot of money just investing in hardware. Yes. Good. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So thank you all for coming. Some of you might know Vijay is not with us today. He's traveling, so he'll be with us next meetup. Until then, I just hope I can see you all again, right? And yeah, thank you. We've gone over by some time, but I guess we started a little late. So yeah, thank you. Thanks. One month.